if you want to build something great, you need to be always looking for greatness.
Mhm.
And when you find greatness, do whatever the fuck it takes to get them to be around you.
Hey guys, welcome to this episode of The Passionate Few. Today we are sitting down with Chief Sumo himself, Noah Kagan. Thanks so much for being on the show today, Noah.
Dude, thank you for having me. I've got like the colors of your background on my head.
Yep, I love it, bro. You're in pirate mode today.
I
So,
am.
so dude, a lot of people know who you are online. You've had a lot of success in business. But for those that don't know who you are, can you give a little bit of context as to, sort of what you've done in business? Just give a little mini resume, so to speak, so that people can get to know you, and we'll get into your story a little bit and how you got into entrepreneurship and sort of rode the roller
Yeah.
coaster of the ups and downs to success.
Shit, man. It only takes 10 years. I believe in the 10-year rule. Is that if you
Yeah.
want to get rich, you just do it. Whatever you do, just do it 10 years and you'll get rich. And that's true. My journey started out, I was a cubicle monkey at Intel. That was the best I could find. And I hated that work, and I've always wanted to run my own show. So I got lucky. I was number 30 at Facebook.com, which everyone uses now. And then I was number 4 at Mint.com, which sold for $200 million. And then I created a few other businesses that were all 7 figures. Not everyone worked. The ones I tell you about were 7 figures, but many, many did not work. But I did Facebook games. I did payments for Facebook games. And then the biggest company I've been able to create with the team is called AppSumo.com. It's a $30 million business. It's the number 1 site online for software deals. We have 2 other properties that I'd suggest for audience if they're trying to grow their brands, if they're trying to grow a community. We have sendfox.com, which is the number 1 place to grow audiences, like, with an email list. And Hall Drop, which is the number 1 site online to promote products. So if you create an e-commerce product, go promote it for free on halldrop.com.
And we'll put links for all those so people can check those out below. Now, when you got into entrepreneurship online, before you became a cubicle slave, so to speak, how old were you at that time?
One thing that I was thinking about, I was talking with a YouTuber named Ali Abdal, and I think everyone out there should start a YouTube channel. Everyone out there should start a weekly newsletter and start building their community. And I started sharing and blogging, which is, I kind of would say, my real start of business in 2000. I was 18. And I've had previous stuff than that, but that was when I first started putting things out publicly. And that I think that's been one of the greatest blessings in my life, Jeremy. Sorry, Omar, I was talking to someone else. Jeremy. You said Jeremy earlier. I apologize.
Yeah, all good.
And so I think blogging has been one of the greatest indirect blessings of my life in terms of the people I met. Tim Ferriss, I met him, and we become friends, and Ramit Sethi, and all these amazing people, and Neville from Copywriting Course. And just starting that was my business journey. And it was just kind of sharing my experiences and things I'm observing. And it's also kind of a cool diary, going back in time and saying, oh, wow, like I used to write like shit and I'm still writing like shit, but it's a little bit better.
Yeah.
And that just kind of got me inspired, and it got me going, started building a community, a garden of an audience. And that was helpful as I built up other businesses of people I met, I worked with. And when I had products I created, I had an audience that I could share that with. So the other thing,
go ahead.
Well, I'd say the other thing that's a part of that is, I think for a lot of people, I think what message resonates is if you're young and you're like, well, I don't have an audience. I don't have Omar's audience. I don't have Noah's audience. It's like, yeah, we did not either at some point. It all starts with one person.
Right.
And the biggest thing is just starting that right now, this second. So start an Instagram account, start the YouTube account, start doing consulting business, whatever that is. And for me back then, I started doing conferences. I fucking know anyone. I didn't have any friends that were like conference organizers. I just thought, after I got fired by Facebook, which was really devastating, and it was a very tough time, very depressing.
How'd you get fired? How'd you get fired real quick, just so people can
Yeah.
You missed out on what? I know Scott Cobby says you missed out on like $100 million by getting fired.
Well, take whatever the value. Go to finance.google.com, look up the value. I think it's about $500 billion, and I had 0.1%.
Yeah.
So that's about 500 million now. And so I'm worth a lot. I'm worth millions now, but money less than that. The question, I guess part of the question is, how different would my life be? And I'm not sure how different it would be. And I'm not sure I would be able to reach a level of greatness. Maybe I would have, but I'm not sure. I think part of my pride is I had a chip on my shoulder, and I wanted to prove something and earn the money myself.
Yeah.
Like purely with a team. And I think people always say, oh, I earned it myself. Like, no, actually, you and all those fucking people who work with you do it, but really created it and had more ownership than just being on the winning team.
Wow.
And so with Facebook, that experience, I think they were, now that I'm a leader of a company and an owner of a business, they should have fired my ass probably sooner. I think there's the lessons learned, which is more important for everyone else out there as well as myself, is when you're in a company, the way to be successful as a company is to make yourself invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? It means that you are creating a lot more money than you cost a business.
Right.
And that's number one. Number two is that if you're side hustling, which all of us do,
Yeah.
and I think side hustling is actually a great thing, even if you have a day job, because it brings creativity, it brings experiments, there's no risk. And if you do some cool stuff, either you can make that full time or you can bring that into your daytime job. I was making my side hustle my main thing.
Mm-hmm.
And people have asked me at AppSumo, they're like, hey, can I have a side hustle? I was like, well, is your main thing at AppSumo doing great? Because if it's not, then you're probably not going to be here long. If that's great, then do what the fuck you want on the side. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing a lot of side stuff. I think also the skill level of maturity, what they wanted, I wasn't scaling with them. And when you run a company and you start a company, there's different needs of different types of people.
Right.
And my power and my specialty and my superpower is like starting. That's zero to like $1, just call me. When you're like like for AppSumo, I got it to around $5 million. That shit gets so boring for me.
Mm-hmm.
But Eamon, we were able to find Eamon and we trained him, and now Eamon took it from 5 to 30 with his team,
Mm-hmm.
and with me annoying him all the whole time. And that's a journey in of itself. But the point there is figuring out what parts you're really great at, embracing that part. And at Facebook, yeah. And so I remember when I was there at 30. This is going to sound crazy now, I would say, but I was there at 30, and in 9 months, I did get a promotion. So I did do many great things, and I invented things there that are still used today. At 9 months, they had 150 people. And I remember getting in a meeting, and there's this white lady, this old white lady, kind of a MILF. And she's like, yeah. I was like, shut up. You don't know shit about this internet thing in college students. And she didn't. She had no fucking clue. But when you're at 150, there's a different process of a business that's necessary. And there's people that are more experienced in different ways. Not to say that they're always better. And even now with AppSumo, we've hired experienced people, not all of them. Mm-hmm. And you do need more process. And that's something that I was really struggling with at that time. I remember I looked back in my journal years ago and I was like, I can't believe how many people are working here. And now at Facebook, there are 50,000 people.
Yeah, that's insane.
And I think at a young age, the one thing I would recommend for everyone out there who's getting started, the two things I would say is work for free or try to be around those fucking geniuses. Because think about this. I was around Mark Zuckerberg, Dustin Moskovitz, founder of Asana, Charlie Cheever, Adam D'Angelo, founder of Quora, Ezra Callahan, like Chris Cox, Andrew Bosworth, Naomi Gleat. Like these people now are either VPs or EVPs at Facebook, or they've created billion-dollar companies.
I want to zoom in and ask you a question on that. What were common denominators, particularly of Mark? Because you got to see Mark in person, interact with him on a regular basis, right?
Mm.
What did you notice about his brain? Was it a lot more about the idea that gave momentum for it, or was he in particular like this mad genius, good at systems, good at seeing things that other people didn't? Like, what do you think allowed him to put himself in the position he's at with Facebook, particularly at that time, because you were really seeing the mindset take off?
I mean, here's the thing that it's so funny in retrospect with all life. There was only a few million people on this site at the time.
Right.
Think about that. There was 6 billion people on Earth and only a few million.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a guaranteed. To me, it was guaranteed. To Mark. Yeah. And so you asked what's the difference in Mark. I've worked at Microsoft as an intern. I met Bill Gates and got to hang out with him. And I worked for Zuckerberg and worked directly with him. Mm-hmm. They're very similar, and they're not like you, no offense. And they're not like me.
Yeah.
And how they think is different. They just process things in a very Mark came from a rich fucking Jew family. I'm Jewish, I can say that. Yeah. And Gates are rich as fuck.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said. And Bezos, I think, is pretty wealthy. Jobs' family he was adopted, and I think that actually was an advantage for him. Mm-hmm. And I met him too when I worked at Intel. That was a fucking cool story. But with Zuckerberg, I think the thing I would say with Zuckerberg, what made him exceptional, I'll say a few of the highlights. One, he has a bigger vision than everyone else.
Mark.
Yeah.
Always.
So think about this, like your show, like I talked to Tom Bilyeu, who we're both friends with, and I asked Tom yesterday, I was like, man, how'd you get such a big YouTube show? Mm-hmm. And Tom is no genius, and Tom admits that. And Mark is a genius level. And Tom, I said, how'd you get 1.5 million subscribers? That's such a big show. And Tom said, oh, this is small. This is not big.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, I'm like 1.5 million subscribers on YouTube. Wow, that's gigantic. And that is the mindset of expectation of Zuckerberg. He expected when we were at a few million people in 2005 when I was there, he expected to connect the world with 100% certainty. And Yahoo, when I was there, offered him $1 billion to stop.
Yeah.
And sell out. And he said no.
Wow.
And there's something about the conviction There's something about a big ass vision, and most of us don't have that. He had an attention to detail that was unparalleled. And what do I mean by that? I mean, at 3 a.m., I would get an email saying that there is a misspelling on one of the help pages.
Mm-hmm.
That's an attention to fucking detail.
Yeah.
That made us all attention to detail. He had a level of expectation that was higher than everyone's. He just expected this level to be impeccable.
Yeah.
And I'd say lastly, he brought on the best in the world. Like, if you think about it, like, think about the people that were involved in that thing now, right? Sean Parker, like, mad genius. Aaron was a designer. This guy named Soleo was a Dropbox designer. Ruti. All these people are the best.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was fucking just excited to be at the party. I was like, yo, I'm just like,
how did you
stay here?
how did you even get in the mix for the role you did? What role did you have there?
I was a product manager, which I still don't know what that means to this day. And I know we have actually this great guy, Nick Costa at AppSumo, who's a product manager, and he is awesome. And David Kelly, who I work with, is an amazing product manager. I was not, and I'm still not. But what I will say in terms of how to get a job there, this is what I was saying a little bit earlier, is that if you're young-ish or you're old-ish and you're not getting the fuck you want, go find the company or the people you want to be around and work for free. And I've really thought, and not just work shitty and not just send them like, hey, can I do anything free for you? I'm like, how about fucking leave me alone? But think about what I'm doing with my time or what I'm doing publicly and see if you can actually bring something of value. If people are like, what? I have no fucking ideas. I got no idea. I hate these business losers, these entrepreneurs. I got no business ideas. I'm like, there is literally a fucking bajillion ideas. I literally have been buying and selling Oculuses. I just got another 3 today. Like, you can go to a site called Stock Informer or Camel, and it'll show you when they come back in stock. And I just buy as many as I can, and then I sell them, and I make $100 each one. And part of me today is like, why the fuck are you doing that?
Yeah.
And the other part of me is like, it's because it's fun for me. I enjoy that shit.
Yeah.
And the point I'm trying to make and try to show as an example is like, I'm a multi-millionaire. And not as brag, but to say like, and people are like, well, why are you only making $30 at a time? I'm like, because I'm doing the work. And I've been doing it for 20 fucking years to finally get this money.
Mm-hmm.
And people want that money right away, or they want the influence right away. So to your question on how to get the job with that place, I think you either work for free somewhere or you show them that you will be invaluable there. So what do I mean specifically? At Facebook, I didn't know anyone. I had no fucking connections. There was no Instagram.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I created a site called Fatcast with my buddy Andrew Chen, who's got an amazing blog, and now he's a partner in Andreessen Horowitz. We created YouTube before there was a YouTube called Fatcast, and we got fucking beat. Yeah. And before Facebook, I built a bunch of college websites, comegetused.org or comegetused.com, collegeup.org. I was blogging at okdork.com, ninjacard.com. And so I built all this college businesses online. So when I went there, I was like, yo, I build college online businesses. You guys are a college online business. What do you need me to do? Build more stuff for the site? Yeah, that's what I've been fucking doing. So I think what a lot of people do when they apply is they apply and then they get they apply. How do I put it in a cool analogy? I don't got one, but they're basically applying. They look vanilla as fuck like everyone else.
Yeah.
They look identical to every fucking else. And so I'm like, if you look like everyone else, you're going to get treated like everyone else. And so I came and said, hey, here's a printout of this website I built. Here's a printout of this website I built. Oh, Facebook? Yeah, I actually did a mock-up of the site. Here's a new thing I think you guys should do. I think they called it Maps. And they were actually launching that pretty soon. And there's something to be said that, to be the best nowadays, which is really interesting, to be the best, you actually don't have to even do that much more than everyone else because everyone else is so lazy. If you only do 1% more than everyone else, just 1%, you will be in the 1%.
Yeah. It's more about
consistency
than anything. Yeah. A lot of people don't have that in that muscle. Yeah.
Well, that's the part of Zuckerberg I think people have missed out on. And I've tried to say it a lot of times, and maybe I'm not saying it eloquently enough. It's easy to be right once.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to be right for almost 20 years.
Yeah, dude, I know. It's insane. And especially with him starting out, you said he was always that convicted to the big vision even before? Like was it delusionary to a lot of people? Were a lot of people thinking like the dude's in delusion, or it made sense because the momentum? The
momentum, you got to see, we were growing, but MySpace was bigger than Facebook.
Right. Yeah. We're talking about
it wasn't a guarantee. This is 2005, dude. Like, I was sending this to a friend today. Like, she was like, "Oh, you have MySpace?" I'm like, "No, I'm on Zynga." People don't know what that is. It's like they don't even know what Pearl Jam is anymore.
Yeah.
It wasn't a guarantee, but I think Mark showed the future of such a big future that was so exciting. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the things that I've been really encouraging people is they're wanting to start businesses is find the thing that you're excited to work on for 20 years.
Yeah.
I am excited to share what I learned at AppSumo and our products and our companies and build tools that people can use themselves. Mm-hmm. I get excited for that. I would never sell our company. If
Yeah.
someone offered $1 billion, I'd probably consider. But until it's $1 billion, what the fuck am I gonna do? I can't believe I get paid to do all this stuff I get to do. Like hang out with you, I'm literally getting paid for that.
Yeah.
Right? We get to promote appsumo.com and tell people to go check it out. And if they don't, that's fine too.
Yeah.
And I think with Mark and everyone that worked at the company, our level of devotion, because we used the product and we loved the product, was unparalleled, dude. My whole life was that. And I was not the exception. I was the norm. I lived in a house with everyone who worked there. Everyone committed their whole lives.
Wow, to Facebook. That's insane, man. That's wild. I feel
And
like
it's not there's luck, but there's also this guy was going to make. Yeah. Like I was talking with, I'm going to name drop. I was talking with Tucker Max.
Yeah.
And this guy, check out Scribe Media if you're looking to write a book. And I was talking about writing a book. And we were talking about, he's like, Noah, you're not popular. He's like, Tim Ferriss, popular. Ramit Sethi, popular. Ryan Holiday, popular. He's like, Ryan Holiday has written 5 books. You've made 5 multi-million-dollar businesses, and he's more popular than you.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting about what you really want and how big you believe you should be or you could be. And that's for everyone to decide. And Mark believed that he was going to connect the entire world. And I'll tell you verbatim what he said. I'm going to make a toll booth to the internet. And that's what he did. Think about what ads are. It's a few dollars off of everything.
Yeah. Makes sense. Dude, that's insane. Now, let me ask you this. What were some of his that you saw at that time? What were some of the things that like how did he combat his weaknesses? Like literally just getting the right people in place, like always having the best talent, or like, because I'm sure there's lots of obstacles, especially at that phase that a lot of startups go through. How did he, what was his process before we move on? What was his process for like getting through big challenges? He just stayed calm, stayed centered, and like, okay, solution. Did he not get emotional when things get rough? Like, what did you, like,
I remember him having a samurai sword, and I remember him throwing water on people's computers, saying shit's not good enough.
Yeah.
And you also realize like we were all 24, so we're all fucking retarded. Not retarded. I can't say that word. We're all like stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
And I think what he did, which was really smart, was a few different things. One, he had an executive coach really early on, and I was like, man, dude, and when you're young, whatever age that you decide, we think we know it all, which we do, obviously. But he had an executive coach, and there was just some old lady, and I was like, yo, what do we need this lady for? Get out of my face. And I believe in business, wisdom comes with age and experience. Sure. And as much as you can read a book, it's through experience that you're going to get wisdom, and that takes time. Sure. And he had that person. The other thing that Mark did that I thought was interesting is he read a lot and he was writing a lot. And in my nature, and I don't like when people say nature because it's not necessarily, you can adjust your nature, but my preference is action. I'm a fucking doer. I'm on the do team. I'm the underdog that like fucking hustles. And Mark is a thinker. He is a very deep, deep thinker, and that leads to smarter decisions. If you're playing, I love chess. So if you play me on chess.com, my username's OKDork. I love chess because it pushes you to think deeper. And there's debate about how much it helps your thinking and all this stuff. But what Mark is thinking is like 5 moves ahead, and I'm thinking 2. And that leads to that. And then lastly, you said it. I don't know about the emotional part, but Mark surrounded himself. Let's even talk about how as the business got bigger. Who is now around that business? Mark Andreessen, the guy who almost invented the internet. Not Tim Berners-Lee, but he invented the browser. Yeah. Sheryl Sandberg, grew Google. Who fucking else? You want to just get God on your team? Like think about the level. Chamath Palihapitiya, I can't say his last name, but the social capital guy who's now a big dick. Yeah. Like think about all the people that he put around him. The guys from Excel Capital.
Best of the best.
The best. And I will say if you have an opportunity for free or low wage and you could work around the best geographically, it is the highest level of personal growth that will pay dividends forever in your lifetime. And it'll also be an amazing experience. It was amazing. I definitely had depression for years about that experience, man. It's kind of funny now. It's like 15 years later. Part of me is like, shut the fuck up about it, dude. No one cares. But I think there's also a lot of wisdom that I can share for other people, especially if you're 22 to 30, maybe 50, and you're like, oh, wow, maybe I should be more intentional to put myself in places where I can grow, being around exceptional talent.
Yeah, I can create opportunities just by being in proximity to them. I love that. So then,
I would say that. I would say one other thing I want to highlight, especially for creating businesses, and we have a course, monthly1k.com. It's $7. There's no upsells, but if people want to learn how to start businesses. I think one of the other things that Facebook was really well timed, and I think that's honestly a big part of success.
Yeah.
Like I started the YouTube site called Fatcast 6 months before YouTube even launched, but we did it on BitTorrent. No, that didn't work. And then we made it so you don't just upload videos. You pay people to upload videos. So like, hey, I'll pay $5 to someone to upload a video. YouTube was like, it's in Flash or HTML5. I don't know. I think it was Flash at the time. And you could just upload it to the site right away. And they were also willing to take the cost of the bandwidth, which we didn't want to because we were bootstrapped. So we did BitTorrent and blah, blah, blah. And so there is something with timing. And I think when starting a business, if you could find the tidal waves and just get your fucking dinghy on it, you will get rich. Yeah, and you will be successful. And I've done that 5 times, maybe 6.
Yeah.
I think like social networking, I showed up.
Yeah.
Finance with Mint, I was just at the party. Facebook games, that got big. Facebook pay answer games, that was huge. Groupon type businesses, fucking gigantic. SaaS businesses, we built sumo.com, big as fuck. Email marketing, we built Sunfox, huge. And so there's something about creating brand new verticals or brand new stuff like Uber, which is, there was nothing like that. Lyft and Uber both, at the same time. But also, if you can just be a part of that fucking wave, like the sharing economy wave, or I'm curious what the next wave is going to be. It could be probably the work from home wave. And if you could figure out some way to just get a little slice of that, and find something that's enjoyable for you, there's a big opportunity.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying there's a lot of opportunity with Zoom-like products in terms of Zoom having so many different things that it could do or could add. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Now, I want to ask this because you mentioned a lot of the successes you've had, but I'm sure you've had a ton of failures. So can you get into like the stories of like once you started like trying a bunch of stuff? I know you mentioned you had a chip on your shoulder. What were some of the things you tried? What were some of the failures you had? Just so people listening to this don't go, well, shit, sounds like he just hit 5 home runs. I'm sure you had a lot of times where like things were not looking good, a lot of tight money situations, late nights. Is this going to work? Shit, am I really going to be a success? Like, can you talk to me a little bit about some of the things you tried, some of the failures you had along the journey?
I was just born rich, and I'm still rich. No, it's I grew up like average middle class Jewish family that had really frugal parents.
Yeah.
And if you ask them, though, like we were so generous. I'm like, okay, Mom. I think one thing is you have to believe in yourself, and I believed into myself to where I'm at now, and I actually have to die. This version dies to believe I could be a better version. And that's what I'm going through in the hardship I'm going through right now for myself, and everyone's going through their own hardship. Oh, you fucking millionaire hardship dying. Shut up, dude. That's my internal voice talking. But the real talking is for the people that are starting. The biggest thing I would say for advice is there's a few different pieces of advice. Number one is start it right now, because if you want to get wealthy, it'll take you 10 years. That's just a fact. And so everyone wants to get influencer rich. Most influencers, the crazy part, are poor.
Oh, like, I know I'm a small. I know a lot of them.
Yeah, I'm a small influencer that is rich, but it's the opposite, right? There's all these big influencers who are poor.
Yeah.
And the reality is that it takes a lot of time, and influencing actually is hard work. And I do think they'll eventually monetize and figure that out better. But number one, start it now. Number two is that and I'll tell you stories. I'll tell you all the stuff I failed at, because I actually made a list of everything over the past 20 years I failed at. And I was like, I couldn't believe how many fucking times I failed.
Yeah.
And you never hear the failures. Like I put out a tweet recently that went viral, and it was how many songs Drake has put out that have not gotten popular. And over 70% of his songs have not been a top hit.
Yeah. Wow.
Over 70%.
Yeah.
And that doesn't include all the songs they didn't even put out.
Yeah.
But we think that we should be rich and popular immediately. So number two is that one is going to take 10 years. Number two, it's called the Coffee Challenge. And we do this course, which I don't care if people buy or not. But the reality is that when people, the reality is that when people are starting businesses, one of my most shocking things is how scared people are. Dude, I'm serious. People have these day jobs, and they're like, well, I'm comfortable. Yeah, I got a good salary. Like I have a lot of friends who have these day jobs. They make $150,000. They work at a corporate job doing sales. And they start doing YouTube. You know why? Like you, Omar, they love it. They love making videos. They love sharing knowledge. Like it's stuff that we both love. And then they get their YouTube check each month. Like, do you have YouTube ads on?
I do.
How much money do you make from your YouTube ads?
We hover anywhere from 3,000 to 8,000 a month.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Not a ton of money, but it's doing what we love.
Money.
Yeah. And I think why too is because there's different categories. And entrepreneurship, business, finance, real estate, like a lot of the types of people we interview rank heavy for advertisers who are in that space. So yeah, it's an anomaly because a lot of people who get millions of views don't make more than couple $100, a
They
thousand
don't
bucks.
even make. I mean,
Yeah. There's a lot
well,
of
the
people that don't
question
make
too is
money.
like you have to pay. You have a team and you have
Right.
work, and 8,000 a month is not your only revenue stream, but that's 96,000 a year. Which at the end of the day, you could probably get a job making 120 to 150. That would be a lot potentially better. But I would say when people are starting, and I make on my YouTube channel $600 a month. I love bragging how little I make. 600.
600 a
Love
month.
it.
Nice. Yeah.
600. I don't even know where it goes.
Yeah.
And in terms of starting a business, it's going to take time. So to overcome fear, I recommend a few challenges that people do. And then I'm going to tell my stories. No, just tell me examples of how you failed. No one cares about how I fucking failed. People care about themselves. So I'm trying to give people the tools for them to make the changes for themselves, the actual tools, not fucking mindset stuff. That mindset is good and it is important because it'll get you to some point, but eventually you have to do the work.
Right.
So coffee challenge is basically you go and ask for 10% off next time you buy coffee or next time you buy anything. And you ask for 10% off. And I'll tell you a few other ones like this because people love this stuff. Once you ask for 10% off, have you ever done this challenge, by the way?
I haven't done that challenge, but I have done that action. So yes. Yes.
Okay. Well, no. That's what they all say too. That's another one that they all say.
Yeah.
But can you do that next time you buy something?
Sure. Yeah. I'll try it.
You promise?
Yeah. I'll do it. In quarantine,
Because
it's a little bit tricky, but
it's
yeah.
hard. It's harder in quarantine. But next time you
I'll do it.
order, if you call, do it next time you call for something to buy, or like call in takeout. And a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I did it. I've done that before." And then they do it again, and then their heart races, and they're like, "Oh fuck it." My brother was so cocky about it. He's like, "Oh, I'm a doctor. I could do anything." And I asked him to do it. He was like, we did. I made him do it when we were getting bagels or some shit. I think at Panera, and he got scared, and it is scary. And what we're all overcoming some fear, just different types of fear. We all have different types of fear, and different levels, and the fear doesn't go away in different things. And so the more that you can practice going into the fear, the coffee challenge. And things like that. Like one of the things that that I've asked people to do when they're starting business is called velocity to $1. And what I do is I say, hey, just get $1 from anyone. You will not believe the ways that people avoid that. I can't. No, you're so stupid. You want me to get $1? That's so easy. Oh, this is not real. Oh, real businesses, I have to give them something. And I asked him, I was like, well, how's your businesses been going? They're like, well, nothing. I'm like, well, that's fucking exactly why, because you're afraid to ask for things. And they go and ask for the $1 and they get it and they post it in this Facebook group we have. And they're like, I can't fucking believe it. And the velocity to $1 is momentum. And it's a self-confidence win where once you've gotten that $1 and you feel some little bit self-worth, you're like, I can do more. I can get more. I can help more people. And I'd say lastly, in terms of key things about some of my failure stuff, is like solve your own shit. And I've talked about that. Just solve stuff that you're excited to work on for 10 years because it takes a lot longer and the grass is never greener. Every time I thought a new business is going to be bigger, it never is. So yeah, I'll tell you some of the things I failed at. People always get excited. I have that list here. I love looking at them. I have a site called freecalls2.com.
Free calls too.
Yeah, it's like a spammy looking site where it has like voice over IP ads. It's like a shitty ass blog. It still makes like $150 a month. Wow. That one I started peoplereminder.com. I wanted a site so I could remember people's birthdays and stuff. This is like 2008. That one didn't do anything. I built a site called betterk.com. It was fantasy sports betting, and I don't follow sports really at that time, and I didn't gamble. I don't gamble. I did a thing called Fishbowl, which was putting fish bowls in restaurants and stores and then helping them digitize their email addresses. That didn't work. Software Taco. It was kind of like AppSumo for product reviews. So it was like instead of doing deals on products, we would just get reviews like a Yelp for products.
And what's AppSumo real quick? Just so someone listening can sort of understand where you can check it out.
AppSumo, very simply, it's the #1 site online for software deals. So if you are starting or growing any online business, it is the best place to find tools to grow your business at the best price. Period.
And I saw
that was strong. Yeah,
that was good. We're gonna take that time and put it on an ad. No, I saw something where you said a good way to think about it was I believe this is you said it is that Groupon. It's like the Groupon of software. I forget if you said that or somewhere else. Yeah, that's a simple way.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that I'm working on. I think you have to, one thing I've realized now in my 30s is that you have to really double down on your strengths and find people that their strength is your weakness. And so my strength is doing and being around people whose strength is more even longer term visions than mine. And so with AppSumo, what's exciting for us is becoming the platform for business. So someone like yourself, Omar, if you create a course, if you create a book, if you create a software, if you create something right now, there really is only your site, maybe Gumroad, maybe Amazon, but there's not the place to really learn about business and grow a business. And so being the platform for people to sell and buy things around business specifically, kind of like an Amazon more for business. And that's a big fucking vision.
How would it be
So
different
I'm
from
excited
like
about that.
how would it be more like a software tool kind of ClickFunnels, or would it be more like a marketplace like Teachable?
More like a marketplace. So Teachable is a marketplace for courses, but it's only
Right.
courses. It's not software. It's not design stuff. It's not templates. It's not icons. It's
Gotcha.
only courses, right? You know, and I think the problem with courses is that, and I've built a course with our team. We spent a year building one course, and we custom built the software.
Mhm.
And 10,000 people have gone through it. 80 to 90% of the people don't actually use the course,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's a great course.
Yeah.
And so the reality is that, I think a lot of people buy courses or software to magically fix things.
Mhm.
Sometimes they just need either the strategy, or they need someone to do it for them, or they actually don't have a business that anyone wants, and they have to figure out something that people do want, which is a great thing.
Yeah. Okay. Now go back to the failures. I'm loving that list.
Uh, Leo.io. You can go to these now. Leo, Leoh.io. I bought a Chrome extension for 25 G's.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like, it shows like pictures on your Chrome.
Yeah.
It's never really done anything. It grew a little bit. I tried to put ads on it. Nothing ever happened.
Yeah.
We launched a thing. Actually, this is from last year. In terms of salaries, I spent about $1 million in salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And we built a thing called Meet Fam. You can go to it now. It's automatic emails for Shopify.
Yeah.
That's been a huge fucking flop. It's been $1 million. I think we've made like $3,000.
Meet Fam.
That's not a good. Yeah. Meet MEET. It's not like a gay porn site. Meet Fam, like a Meet Fams. It's it's MEET Fam. Don't even go. People shouldn't go. But the idea, I think what people miss out, and I put this list together, and I have a video coming out about it because I was curious about it for myself.
Yeah.
What's really fascinating, there's a few different pieces of this journey for myself. And then, one, AppSumo, the thing that worked, it worked immediately. And really, one thing that business owners make mistakes on is that they don't just stay with the thing that's working.
Yep.
They're like, go to the next thing.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, oh, YouTube's working? Let me go to Instagram.
Yep.
They're like, Instagram's working? Let me go try to do a different platform. It's like, well, why don't you try to 10x what you have? And it was funny. I was talking to this entrepreneur 2 weeks ago, this guy named Jesse. And I said, Jesse, he's like, I'm 10xing everything. He's like, and I'm like, dude, right now, coronavirus, this is the biggest window of opportunity for tech businesses ever in my 38 years of living, or 20 years of being online. This is the greatest window of opportunity I've ever fucking seen, because everyone is home, everyone is using tech. Zoom is now a word my mom knows. My mom didn't know Zoom 2 months ago. Do you think like that is fucking amazing? And that creates opportunity for everyone. And it's finding the things that are working and 10xing. And so in terms of this Jesse guy, I said, how many ads are you running? He's like, a few hundred. I'm like, do 1,000 a day. How many blog posts you do? We do 2 a week. Do 2 a day.
Mm-hmm.
10x means if it's working, you you go until it's not profitable anymore. So anyways, that's one. Stay consistent with those things. Number 2 is that each thing should get better.
Mm-hmm.
So when I created AppSumo, it's only reason I created AppSumo, and I think this is an important thing about momentum, and momentum brings momentum.
Right.
And starting now, it's going to take you 10 years to get rich. So you start it fucking today, and then just put it in your calendar. Hey, I know Noah says it's going to take 10 years. I'm down. I'm in for that. If I'll do 10 years, I'll get my $1 million. And Noah will help me, because I will. And people can see me on YouTube, Noah Kagan, or okdork.com, or the other things. But the 2 things I'm highlighting with that is I started a thing called, we did sumo.com,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sumo.com, it didn't really work that well. But like from sumo.com, we created something else. And the point that I'm really trying to highlight for people is, so many times in my life, my customer has become my business partner. I acquired something, and that person became a developer with me. Mm-hmm. And each thing kind of layers into each other, which is pretty interesting. But that only happens because I did something.
Yeah.
Like I bought this guy's WordPress plugin, fucking nerd alert. So I bought his plugin. His name's Garrett. And I said, hey man, can you help me with some stuff on this plugin? He's like, sure, I'll pay you for it. And he's like, okay. And I think there's even a bigger lesson here that I need to codify. And so I started working with him, and I was talking to my business partner, Chad, who used to be my customer. My business partner was just my customer before. And if you want to build something great, you need to be always looking for greatness. Mm-hmm. And when you find greatness, do whatever the fuck it takes to get them to be around you.
Hey you, I hope you're enjoying this interview, and we'll get back to it in 1 second, but I have a quick question for you. Have you ever watched one of these interviews and you're just thinking, man, it would be so insane to be able to share my story and inspire the world all while growing my personal brand? Well, now you can, and it's as simple as clicking on that link below and filling out that short questionnaire. If our team feels that you are a great fit for the show, who knows? You may get that call to be interviewed on Zoom or in person and become a passionate few. That's all for now.
So Garrett, this amazing developer, I was telling Chad, I was like, yo, this guy's fucking great. Let's get him in. Let's make it great for him to be here. And so then he came on board. And that's only because I was buying plugins for Sumo back in the day. And now he's the lead developer on SendFox. And Chad was my customer of Get Gambit, which was my, Facebook payments for games company. And so he was the first customer I had. But that came because I knew Andrew Warner, who I met at a conference in LA just because we were at conferences when I was working at Mint.
Yeah.
So I think the point being is you don't know, the internet is a small fucking world. And just starting a blog, be someone interesting that others want to meet and get it going today. And the journey will be fun. I think part of the journey is two ways. It's like, know a destination you're excited about. Like I want to take my message to a larger audience, but also the part of the journey is just like exploring the places that you're enjoying and you're curious, and it'll take you to fun places that just as well.
So you have found that where you try a bunch of things, and instead of worrying about, there's two lessons there. Instead of worrying about quote unquote fast success, it seems like you're always pursuing interesting ideas and then just seeing if there was enough momentum to really scale it before you kill it and try something new. Second thing is I noticed that like a big pattern with you is like imperfect action, right? Like you take action very fast. And
good way of putting it. Yeah, I like that.
Do you think that's because a lot of people try to analyze it, they try to have the business plan, whereas you go, screw it, let me throw spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And then not only that, how long it sticks, and then you make iterations where, like, say you start a company and say it doesn't work exactly, you get a few customers, and maybe that doesn't end up being exactly how you envisioned it, but something better might happen because one of your customers ended up being a great business partner, and then that opened something else, but you could have never foresaw that when you were starting the
It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
Me and my partner Chad talk about this all the time. So many things that people could solve their problems just by starting.
Yeah.
And so I like the way you put it, imperfect action. The way I've always recommended it for others, and I'm not always perfect about this, but I do believe it's the right way, is any business should be able to be started in a weekend without money in 48 hours. Period.
And you actually did that with Jerky, right?
I've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
And all my most successful stuff happened in weekends. All my least successful stuff, I thought about it. Here's another example of this. I wanted to prove people how to start businesses. So I wanted to show how to start an events experiences business. This is about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I spent weeks talking to people about it. And I actually made this list of 10 ways to know you're a entrepreneur. And people were talking. I was like, hey, what do you think about this idea? What do you think about it? What do you think about it? And then one day I said, no, you have 48 hours to fucking do it. And so I just went and sold tickets. I said, hey, does anyone want to come to a whiskey, and I think it was whiskey learning class over at this place called Hightower in Austin? And I just saw if I could sell $20 of tickets. I tried to see if I could sell 10. I sold them to just my friends. And then I went to Hightower. I was like, hey, I have $200. Can you guys give us some whiskey and teach us some stuff about it? I did that all in the 48 hour because the limitation brings innovation. And so I really encourage people not to spend money, not to buy another fucking course, not to blame the economy, not to blame COVID. There's money out there. It's just being spent on different things.
Yeah.
And I like imperfect action. And I think the thing I would say is when you've started something that people want, they're asking for it. And the analogy that my friend Brian Balfour from Reforge.com said that I liked is when you've started a business people want, you're pushing the ball downhill.
Yeah. And
when you start a business that you're pushing uphill, it's heavy. And it doesn't mean that business should be easy, but you want to be working on this is a point that I'll even highlight very more clearly. So we all have the same amount of life. I mean, in terms of the day. You and me have the same. The listeners, the viewers, everyone's got 24. But why is it that some of us have better output? Objectively or subjectively, people have better fucking output. And so they're making better decisions. And so one of the things, the frameworks that we do at our company now is that we say, is this a 7-figure decision or not? Like if you want to build a 7-figure or an 8-figure or a 9-figure or a 10-figure business, you have to be doing things that are 10-figure opportunities. So for example, sendfox.com, the email marketing for content creators, number one place to grow people's audience. And we are willing to kill it if it doesn't make 7 figures this year.
Mm-hmm. Straight
up, we'll pull the plug on it. We'll refund people's money. And guess what? The team, and it's not like greed, like, oh, if we don't do this, we need more money. I don't need more. We could do a lot more things to make more money. I want to enjoy this. Mm-hmm. And I told the team that, and I said, hey, this is not a threat. It's just we have other things we could be doing. Like if we take the 5 people that run SendFox, and they're all awesome, they're fucking really, really amazing. We could put them on AppSumo and easily make 7 figures in revenue from actions they could build on AppSumo.
Right. Yeah.
So it is. Yeah, they could build out a bunch of keep whiz bang stuff over that site, and so they are fucking hustling to make it a 7-figure business. But I think historically, I've gotten distracted with 5-figure opportunities, and that has kept me at a smaller size.
Yeah, that's interesting. Now, what were some of your first hits before you started? Like, what was your first 7-figure business? Like, because I'm sure that you were like struggling for a while. What was your first like, holy shit, like this is your first that you felt was the biggest leap of a win? How old were you? How long was it after you got fired? How many failures did it take? Give us context, because there might be somebody in that spot right now that is right before that transition. Because I'm sure you know this just as well as anybody. I know I've been there, where you have a threshold of making X amount of money or doing X thing at a certain level, and then you do it and you're like, oh shit, what else can I do? And you talk about momentum. So what was your first major win before you got a momentum and that like built that belief? What's the story of that? Your first big win?
So the Ninja card was my discount card at colleges, and I ended up making 50,000 of it, 50,000 profit, which, you always got to ask profit. When people, I have this revenue of a company, I'm like, shut up. How much profit do you have?
Yeah. I
have thousands of employees. Shut up. How much profit? I don't care how many people you hired in whatever country you've hired them from.
Yeah.
And these people all over the world are so funny. And I was really proud of that. I think I love the money I make when I didn't really try to make as much money. Mm-hmm. Some of the money, I'll tell you some of the ones. So the community next was I started putting on conferences because I was like, there's no cool conferences. I ended up making about $250,000 from that. I put on 3 or 4 of them, and I made around 50 G's from each one.
And you had an email list you're selling to?
No, I didn't have anything. There wasn't email marketing at that time.
How are you selling tickets? Like, how did you go from 0 to 250 in terms of like just the strategy? Because people would hear that and go, well, how did you do that?
I think I literally put up exactly everything. Let me see. I'll send you the link. I'll show you. I'll talk you through some of the things. That's not where I got like crazy. That's not where I got let me tell you where I got my first mill. Yeah. So how I made over 100,000 doing tech events. I'm going to send it to you here so you can actually see that. That's how I made over 100,000. That's literally every single thing I did, but it was like Craigslist. I looked at who sponsored competitors' conferences, and I just contacted them and said, hey, I saw you sponsor this one. You want to sponsor us? Yeah. I sold VIP tickets.
Yeah.
I did, Craigslist postings. I posted to mailing lists. I don't know if Twitter was big at the time. I don't think Facebook was around really at that time.
How long did you give yourself to sell the tickets?
The whole conference was put together in 4 months.
Wow.
And but let me preface it. So to be successful as an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. I will tell you one of the most important things is having a very low cost of living. Mm-hmm. For the year of 2007, when I was making 100 G's at Mint, I lived on couches. Mm-hmm. The 3 years before that, after I graduated college, I lived in my aunt's basement and my mom's house.
Yeah.
So until I was 30, I didn't pay rent. So on one hand, I'm cheap. On the other hand, I don't have to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
To live, so I can be crazier. Mm-hmm. When you get more money, you actually get somewhat more risky and somewhat less risky, which is the problem of getting old.
Yeah.
And with the conference, my main thing was, what is my minimum amount to put on the conference so I can break even? And then everything after that is going to be fucking cake. Because I just want to put on an amazing I wanted a conference, and this is the norm, but back then it wasn't the norm. I wanted Red Bulls all day. I wanted open cocktail bars. I wanted Hawaiian food. Yeah. I wanted cool swag. I wanted it to be like an event that I would be excited to go to, and I think that's a really important lesson for everyone. Yeah. And afterwards, I made a lot of money. But my most important thing in the beginning was, what's my break-even point? Mm-hmm. And I think it was like somewhere like a few $1,000 because I got the room donated. I asked for discounts on everything, coffee challenge.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have to sell a lot of tickets. And then the measurement for me of a conference was, how many people can I get to come back? That was actually my success metric, not how much I make, because that means it's so much fucking easier to keep selling this stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So that was that. I think where I made my first $1 million, let me look it up. I didn't actually make $1 million on it, but Get Gambit, dude, you know what's crazy? Get Gambit. So it was we did the Facebook games, and I was the #1 Facebook game developer for a period of time.
Yeah.
That's how I met Naval Ravikant. You know Naval?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he invested in my company, and like I hung out with Mark Pincus from Zynga and all these famous people.
Wow.
I just built some fucking games. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
It's called Kickflip. Sometimes, when people talk and I watch these things or I listen to them, they're like, yeah, I got all this rich and it's this company. And I'm like, say the company name, bitch. Because I'm like, I know it's shady. If it wasn't shady, you would say it. So it was called Kickflip.
Did you grow up skateboarding? Did you grow up skateboarding?
I just loved, yeah, I did. And I just always wanted to do a kickflip, and I still fucking haven't.
Oh, dude, I'll teach you how, dude. I grew up skateboarding. My audience knows I love skateboarding. I grew up.
Oh, I'd love to, dude. I'm gonna put that on my bucket list for next year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put her. I'm writing it down for my next year. I do a bucket list for each year.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do kickflip in 48 hours.
I've been trying. Real talk. I've been trying to buy kickflip.com. How much do you think they want for that domain?
I have no idea, but I think it's worth it. I think if Skater owns it and you just let him know, like AppSumo, hook him up with something. I think
that's actually a problem. Is that if you tell them if they know you have money, they're gonna fucking ask for that money.
A couple zeros. Yeah.
I know. All right, I'm putting that in my 2021 file. Hold on. So in terms of where I made my first million, so kickflip. I'm writing it in my.
By the way, the key to kickflips is to practice on grass. Like practice on grass.
Oh.
So that way your brain doesn't get fearful of the concrete. So the way I learned it is I would do it in grass. I would flip it, and then little by little I would pull it out of the grass closer and closer to concrete until I could do it perfectly, and then I would do it on concrete. So you minimize the fear of like, oh shit, I'm gonna hurt myself, whatever. Worst case scenario, you fall in grass.
I fucking like it. You know what's powerful about what you said, and I don't know if people actually heard it, is that having someone who's experienced or that can coach you can get you ahead in different ways. People are like, well, no, are you gonna sell coaching? And I'm like, fuck no, I'm not. But I'm saying if you're trying to learn and improve in different things, it's pretty. Like I have a chess coach. I'm meeting with him Friday. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, Coaches Accelerate. So where I made so Get Gambit, just to highlight it, we were doing Facebook games and we kind of it was hard to win. Same with Meet Fam. We were doing that email marketing for Shopify. It was hard to win. And when it's hard to win because you're begging for fucking sales. No one's giving it to you.
Yeah. You're fighting the current instead of riding the wave.
Exactly. Yeah. And so with Kickflip, we're like, yo, our games are dying. This Bet Arcade site sucks. What if we did the payments for these games? It's less. There's only 3 competitors versus hundreds. Yeah. And then instantly we started printing cash. And so that business in our first year did 30 million in total revenue. Our profit was somewhere in the few millions, but after splitting with partners and after taxes and all this fucking thing, I only made a few hundred G's. So I didn't actually get $1 million there. I think my first $1 million came probably year 5 of AppSumo, year 4 of AppSumo. And that's not because I could have paid myself $1 million earlier from that.
Yeah.
But for me, my goal is I wanted the company to be bigger each year. I'd rather take more money next year than now. So it's like, all right, would you rather take that money for yourself or put in the business so next year's even bigger? And so I would say I started all this internet stuff really in 2004. And I made my first mill 2016. So it's about 10 years, give or take.
And in terms of that, did like once that happened, what changed for you mentally? Was it that process that showed you, okay, cool, we can get to 10 mil?
No, it's actually, dude, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a real talk. Now I have a few mil cash. Like it's different to have, people are like, well, my real estate holdings are this. I'm like, well, how much is your mortgages? And then how much is that? And then how much is actually you have? Liquid. So now I have a few million liquid. That's made me feel secure, which is so fucking insane.
Yeah.
Because I talk to people, I have a friend who's got a few hundred, like not that much in the bank. He's got like maybe a few thousand. And that makes me nervous. And only now that I have a few million, I'm secured. I'm like, it's fucking insane. And it's not to boo-hoo or anything for me, but I think, is your question more like, how did I get to that level, or how do you get to those next levels, or what specifically?
My question is, so for people listening or people watching this and going, oh shit, like you hit that sort of threshold that a lot of people have, that's the elusive number, $1 million. And obviously you've gone past that, but like, what were some of the things you learned about, like, oh, once you get there, like it never ends, you just stretch your goals? Is it like, what should people be thinking mentally to not be so intimidated by it? Is it more focused about the process? And the money will be a byproduct of it. Obviously, you got to make sure that the numbers work. But like, what advice do you have for people who are trying to get there? Because it seems to me like you weren't even so focused on that initially. You're focused on doing something. You scale something interesting and then worried about the money. And most people don't do that. Most people are trying to make the money now, scale that, and worry about the fulfillment, happy, interesting shit later.
And I hate rich people that just talk about find your passion. I'm like, well, bitch, it's easy for you to find passion because you're rich.
Right.
Like, you come down to my fucking level. Yeah. So I will say I looked at my personal and the company tax records, and I just put out my salary so people can see my salary over the years. So AppSumo, just to give you a sense of scale, in 2010, when I launched it, it made like revenue, not profit. It was like 100,000 or 200,000. In 2011, our revenue was 3 million.
Wow. In 1 year. Yeah.
That was, but I think what's interesting, and maybe, our minds are deceitful beasts. I didn't even know that it was that big of a jump. I didn't even know what our revenue was like that. And obviously I am very revenue focused, and I care about the profit and things like that. I think at the time the way that it was actually helpful for us is we looked at leading indicators that drove revenue, but it wasn't looking at revenue. So what do I mean by that? At that time, all I looked at was pretty much two things. How many people are getting on our email list, and how many deals a week are we putting out? And with business, a lot of people are looking at the what's the best way to put it? They're looking at the speed, but not at the dials. So they're looking at, I'm going 60 miles an hour. I got 600,000 revenue. But if you focused on what is the dials that drive that, the dials that drive that is, for us, was email list and number of deals. And so that is all we focused on. And it was saying, what is our limiting factors there? It was sales team. So we built out a sales team, and emails, we built out a marketing team. And so, and then Eamon, I would say, has done really well, even going further and doubling down on that. That's a whole story in of itself. But yeah, the million, I would say million's a great goal. I'm in college, me and my buddy Sarthak, he went on to be pretty big at Microsoft, and now he's at Pinterest. We both wanted to make 30 million by 30.
Yeah. That was the goal. Yeah.
I'll tell you, actually, I just, you triggered a thought for me, Omar. When I actually got $1 million cash, when I finally had it in the bank, it's very unsatisfying because no one gives a fuck about it. Like even my dad, I went to my dad, I was like, hey, our company made $1 million. He was like, all right, shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
And you don't get a sticker. Yeah. And there's no ceremony. There should be a ceremony. If anyone makes $1 million, I will fucking ceremony with you. We'll go to Vegas. We'll do drugs. Like, I'll party my ass off with y'all. Like, we'll do some fun ass stuff. Maybe we can even do a responsible time. We don't even have to have drugs, and we can have fun without that. Yeah. But I think there's actually beauty in that message, because I remember getting it. I remember finally having $1 million. I was like, oh, this is it. I'm still me. Life is still here. Today is still this. Tomorrow's going to happen. And I think the bigger message for myself around that is that what really matters, or this money I generate. And now it's almost the devil for me, because I can get really easily tricked. I can trick myself to saying, I'm doing this for my good. I'm doing this for intent. But it's like, well, are you sure you're not doing this for the money? And so what I do to myself today, which I actually think is helpful to do it at 15 or at 30 or at 50 or at 100, is where is the money going to serve me? And that is how, and I have a coach. And one of the things that we've been working on is, he says, you need to work on paying full price for things. and hear me out with this, is that it's not that I'm trying to get deals, and I'm not trying to, I do run a deals business, or the team runs it, and they're amazing. Yeah. But I think I limit myself. I've been taught, we're all taught materialism is bad. Having flashy things is bad. And most of the YouTubers that show it don't actually have it. Like, I'm in a mansion right now, but I'm just renting it. Plus I got it for 60% off on Airbnb. It was great. Yeah. And the reality, though, is that people should be thinking, what do I really want in my life? What enhances my life for money? Like, I had a buddy buy a 335i BMW, and he was so happy. And then a few months later, he was so unhappy with it. He's like, nah, whatever. And that always stuck with me, that, wow, this money can be really fleeting.
Elusive, yeah.
Yeah, it is elusive. And so instead of the $1 million, the real question is, what is the lifestyle or life that you want, and how much money does that require? And so I've started recognizing, like, I live in an 800 square foot house, which I tell people, oh, how big is your house? Like, dude, I've got a tiny house. I'm like, oh, how tiny? It's like 2,000 square feet. I can't believe I live in this house. I'm like, 2,000 square feet. It's like triple my house. And my walls are falling down. Yeah. Like, I literally have cracks all over my driveway. Like, you think it's a crack house. And I think that's a self-limiting thing in myself, where I don't invest. I invest in the business. Like, I can spend in AppSumo if there's an ROI on it all day, but the ROI in myself, self,
it's secondary to the mission. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I actually think there's more there for all of us, which is like, where can I invest in myself, either from a knowledge or from materials, like a better computer, a better camera, a better bike. And you getting your skateboard?
No, I just want to get the plug in. I'm with you.
No, it's all good. No, and so I've been reflecting on that, man. And I think the idea is not about making the million. It's funny how millions are arbitrary.
Right.
900,000. Like 900,000 is the new cool thing. Or like one of my favorite things is when I meet an entrepreneur who's got a side hustle or a full hustle and they're like, yeah, I make 6 figures a year. I'm like, dude, you make more than $1. That's where it is. If you make more than a fucking dollar by something you started and you've gotten off your ass and you stopped watching Netflix and you did something for yourself, I'm on that team. That's part of my squad.
So
yeah.
Would you say that when you were creating stuff, you were like, when you started, for example, let's say AppSumo, right? Were you focused on like, how big can I scale this? Or was it an interesting idea and your mindset was like, oh, this is an interesting idea. I bet you I can get a couple people on this and let's see what happens. Is your mindset, let me build this and see what happens? Or do you go into it with intent? Because it sounds like you've gone through so many ideas and I'm just curious how you filter the ideas. And is the genius more in the execution of imperfect ideas? Or is it more about you sort of being willing to take a risk, like, okay, I'm willing to bet on that idea? What's the mental approach that you've seen work more often than not? Because I'm sure you have some pretty good context. It sounds like you've had like what, 20 overall projects you started, if not more?
Yeah, I've done 20, and only really one has made me rich.
Yeah,
just to give you an idea, like
and it's interesting you say that, because even like they say like home run baseball hitters, I think to be like Hall of Fame legendary, they only have like a 30% batting average.
Yeah, I'm batting 5% on companies.
Yeah,
5%.
And it's still built multiple 8 figures for you.
Yeah.
That's
but it also took a lot of failure, a lot of like depression, a lot of challenges. And so I think there's 2 ways. If you're younger, I would chase money.
Mm-hmm.
Because
straight up, yeah,
you'll just you'll learn. You'll watch a video of some guy who got rich, buy his Shopify fucking dropshipping thing, buy some crappy stuff on Alibaba, lose that money, and then learn a new way. And I did that. And the problem with that approach, the thing that it's fucked with that, is that when it's not working, you'll give up really quickly because you don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so the businesses for me that have ended up making the most money is just stuff that I do think it's important to be aware of the money, but I was just like, I really love doing this stuff. So with AppSumo, my intent was not to make $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
My intent was, can I make enough money so that I can go work remotely? And can I make enough money? And it wasn't even about making money. It was, can I get deals on these products so I don't have to pay full price?
So it wasn't like you were the consumer of your own stuff. Like you were.
I think that's the best. I love, think about this. What's when we were able to go out to restaurants back in our day, what was like a great restaurant for you? You're in LA, right?
Yeah, I'm in LA. Maybe like Chili's was something, like, especially when I was broke.
Hell yeah. Well, maybe Chili's, maybe not the best example, but I always think I'd read everyone fucking talk shit on Chili's. But I think what's interesting is when you go to a restaurant and the food in the restaurant is better than the other ones. It's 1% or it's noticeably better.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for that, where like the owner or the chef care.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, you're talking about like Ruth's Chris. Like for me, Ruth's Chris was the spot.
Yeah. Oh, I remember as a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they give a fuck.
Yeah.
With
you go there, the servers care. The food is brought on a tray. The ambiance. The steaks are phenomenal. The lobster mac and cheese. Yeah, the
lobster mac and cheese. So I would say with AppSumo, I didn't set out to make $1 million. Actually, I remember the exact moment I turned it serious. So it was, and this is something about, Tom Bilyeu and I had a conversation, and I'm not name dropping. I was talking with Tom. He said something, he didn't say it, but it was an interesting thing. How much do you think Tom spends to make all his YouTube videos and all of his content?
A ton. I think he spends a ton.
$2 million a year.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because I was actually with Tom.
I saw.
I've had Tom on the show twice, and he's become a good buddy. And what's crazy is I was with him day one of Impact Theory filming. He even told us when we filmed it, we didn't have to sign an NDA, but like we weren't allowed to talk about it or post it until he launched. So I literally saw Impact Theory, like that whole thing, at zero. And he had a full production team. I mean, he hired the best of the best production, and there's like a director and like an editor and like a gaffer. Like it's a set.
Gaffer. You got to. I just want to be a gaffer because that would just be cool to say to people.
But check this out. He built it to automate his systems. He has his gym and his studio in his house, and his team comes to the house. So to optimize his time, he literally wakes up at the Beverly Hills crib, which is ridiculous, and like wakes up. The whole team is there. His gym is there. His set is there. The people are there. His crew is there, and the guests that come on the show are there. So everything is there.
Tom's a big dick. He's big dick. Big dicking is the phrase of 2020, which is like you're living without fear and you're willing to face it. And so the thing I would say about Tom, and you asked about like AppSumo going from this is the thing about Tom, and it's the same thing with AppSumo.
Right.
when I started AppSumo, I wasn't worried about competitors, and I think the best businesses aren't worried about competitors.
Right.
There was many deal sites competing against us. Oh, you got one of those Amber Alerts.
Oh, Amber Alerts, yeah.
Dude, they're coming for you, dog. So here's the thing with Tom and why Tom is big. Not just that he believes he's big.
Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
It's not that Tom just believes he's big. Tom treats it like a professional, and everyone else treats it like a hobby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And even me, like I'm doing this YouTube stuff now on No Kagan, you know, on the OK Dork channel. I've got like shitty ass lighting. You can see my lighting's all fucked up here. Like I have a crappy camera. Tom's got like the fucking guy that did probably Mission Impossible or something. But point being is that I'm, you know, I think what we all do is we want to jump to that. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't have money. So it's like, well, you got to build up to that. And that's part of, you know, my journey with what I'm exploring. But I think the point in general is that if you want to make money, I think what I just said earlier is almost just as valuable. Figure out how much money you actually need. Like what kind of house do you really need? Do you need a big house? Like I don't need this big ass house. But I think I would be happier with the house bigger than 800 square feet that the walls aren't falling down. That has a hot tub. I just need a hot tub. I want a giant fucking hot tub. Yeah. And like I'm gonna go in hot tub after this, man. I fucking love hot tubbing. If everyone wants a hot tub, once you make $1 million, I'm a hot tub with you or whoever is out there.
Yeah.
And I think that with Tom as well, for me with AppSumo, Andrew Chen, he's my only advisor and investor in the company. And we didn't need the money. He was just like, yo, do you want to take some money so I can own some of it? And I was like, all right, give me 100 G's. Yeah. So he gave me 100 G's and I still haven't used it. But he said to me, he's like, do you want this to be a hobby or do you want this to be a business? Mm-hmm. And I think that's where I'm at again in life. It's like, well, I want to see how far we can go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, let's go for it. And so we took it seriously, which is hiring people, running more deals, doing advertising, trying partnerships, experimenting a lot over the past 10 years of this company.
And what was the business model, or what was your idea for the business model initially? Like what was the...
You know what's so fascinating about that? I've thought about this. The business model that we started with is the same business model we have today. Wow. And I think there's actually something really powerful with that. Yeah. Think about this. Amazon's business model, for the most part, is still the same. Sure. Google, mostly still the same. Yeah. Facebook, still the same. Product Hunt, still the same. AppSumo, still the same. Dropbox, still the same. And Amazon, stop. My Alexa was talking dirty to me. Yeah. But I think what's fascinating about that is they've changed, right? Mm-hmm. But there's something there that they found the thing that worked. And I think that's important when starting a business because like the opportunity cost is huge. It's your life. Mm-hmm. So you do want to find the thing that has a bigger opportunity to go. And you don't want to let that stop you, but you want to say, well, if I have to work for the next 20 years and something, at least have something that's a big market to play with. Right. And there is something that AppSumo in the beginning, we did bundles. The first deal was called with Imgur. That was a $7 deal. And I just sold a few of them.
But what was the business model for people who know nothing?
Mm-hmm. My previous company, we ended up actually making a lot of money doing those Facebook payments for games, but I hated my business partners. Mm-hmm. I hated the people that were using our software, and I hated those customers their customers, the game players. I hated all of them so badly. Mm-hmm. And that led to AppSumo, where I said, I want people to kiss my ass. That's really what I meant. Yeah. And not that I'm better than anyone, not that I should be, but to give an example, I would spend months kissing these people's asses. Like, please use our software, use our payment software, please. Oh God, I send people shoes, I send them magazines, I take them out, I do whatever to use their software. They'd use our software, and then a week later they say, hey, give me a better price on this, and then they say, all right, we're gonna use your competitor instead. And so I think this is actually a key point that everyone misses in business. And right now it's a wake up call for a lot of businesses. A lot of businesses are like, it's the economy, it's the COVID, it's the government. It's not. It's that your business is not important. Mm. That's the real fucking problem. It's not important. And people are not willing to face it. They're like, well, I'm waiting. I'm like, well, have fucking waiting for unemployment checks. Because there's a lot of people that are willing to do stuff, and I'm willing to help them. Because there is opportunity now. And you have to find the things that are valuable. So because I did the games thing that was so fucking annoying, I said, what is valuable to companies? Mm-hmm. What is the number one thing that every company wants? Money. And how do you get money? From customers. So I was like, I will bring them the most important thing. Let me solve that. Number two, I said, well, what do I love? I love marketing. That's all I've ever done is being a marketer. And I've read a lot of marketing books, but I just kind of figured it the fuck out through doing it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, well, I know marketing. I like customers. I also love software. Like even now I found out some new apps like Bear app and Notion, and I'm fucking with these other things. And I'm like, yo, this is so dope. Yeah. And then I was like, all right, well, I also like good deals. And so I was like, well, let's just focus on that. And that was the original business model. I went to Imgur and I said, hey, you have a pro version. It's $29 a year, or putting $20 once. Let me sell it, and I'll pay you. I'll pay you $5 for every one I sell. And I kind of already knew there was people on Reddit who like it, so I went and hit up the Reddit founders. They didn't know me. I just hit them up and I said, hey, can I get some free ads?
Yeah.
And they gave me free ads because I took them out to breakfast. I took them out to this is 2010, right? They weren't popular as popular as now. I just took them out for breakfast.
Yeah.
And they gave me thousands of dollars in ad credit, and I ran ads on it, and I posted it, and I hit up my friends.
Yeah.
And I think I ended up selling about 200 of them. And I actually think I made like a few $100s. So revenue was probably like, what was it, 200? So probably 1,500 revenue. I think profit.
So the business model was to talk to people who had software and then work out a deal where at a discounted rate, you can offer that to your people and you get a piece of the action.
And that's still what we do today. We go to the best software in the world. We negotiate a great price. And for these companies, think about this. Let's say you created software, Omar. Mm-hmm. I'll do the pitch. The pitch is, Omar, how would you feel if I send you six-figure, $100,000 check today?
Fantastic.
Yeah. There's no cost to you.
Yeah.
There's free exposure, and you're going to get paid without any risk. Like if you could find a better deal, let me know, and I'll start creating software and selling it over there.
So they don't spend anything.
They don't have to spend shit. And I think what's amazing,
give you a discount. Yeah. So it's like free money, and to them, the software, there's no overhead on software.
There's no overhead. I mean, that's why Groupon's fucked. That's why Groupon's all nail salons and hair removal, because there's a cost to the rent, there's a cost to the people, there's a cost to the material items, but in digital, it's fucking free. Yeah. And
so did you literally see Groupon and go, holy shit, I can do that in software?
It was actually MacHeist. So it was MacHeist. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but MacHeist is the one I really saw. So they did it in our business model actually originally was more bundles. Mm-hmm. So what we would do is we do these bundles, because MacHeist did that for Mac apps, and I was like, oh, they're doing it for Mac apps. Couldn't I do what I'm thinking about this with like software apps? And you have to think at the time there was maybe only like 20 software companies. So the FreshBooks, Mailchimp, Evernote, MindMeister, there's Time Doctor. Some of these other ones. And so there wasn't a ton to actually do. Typekit. And I remember my former boss at Facebook was like, I don't know how you're ever going to grow this business. I don't think it's ever going to be. He's like, I think it's going to fail. And I think what's interesting about that, he's gone on to make a lot of money too. He's super rich. What's up, Doug? Shout out Doug Hirsch. And I think when people test you, it's a really great thing because it tests your conviction. Do you really want this? Yep. And I was like, even if it doesn't work, I'm pretty excited to get deals on the software for myself. And the way the business worked is that model was we go to these software, we go to 5 people and we say, we're going to sell this for 50. Some of them were small. So I'm like, yo, I'm not paying you shit because you're getting free exposure. But the big dogs, LinkedIn, Evernote, Mailchimp, I would be like, I'll pay you $10 or $5 for every bundle we sell, and I'll keep 5 for myself. And I would just tell them the economics. But the beauty of that actually worked out really well early on, was that all those companies, I say, can you promote this to your free customer base? And then they would all do it because those people, they have customers that are not paying them, and this is a great way to convert them into paying customers. And so I think the ultimate thing with a lot of this stuff, and what's important for young business operators or people starting out, is that it was always better for these businesses than just about AppSumo. And that's where everyone gets it backwards. They're like, how do I make it really great for me? It's like, well,
how do I get sales? How do I get the client? How do I get the customer? They don't think about how they get it good for the thing, which will build demand anyways, right? How they get it good for the consumer. Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah. And a lot of online marketing doesn't teach things that way, like a lot of courses and trainings online. It's like how to get clients. It's not sexy to be like how to serve clients to actually ROI. Like, I rarely see content around that versus like how to get the deal or how to do the thing, which then plays with people's minds, because then the clients aren't happy. So it's hard for them to scale anything. Yeah.
Yeah. I would be scared if I was a consultant right now. I'd be scared and I would be empowered. I think there's 2 ways to approach like a consulting service business. And there's some consultants that are pussies and like, oh, my clients fired me. This economy sucks. That's like loser talk.
Yeah.
And the reality is that everyone has money, and now people want to save money. So as a consultant, they don't have salary tax. Mm-hmm. They don't have health benefits. Mm-hmm. You're flexible. And so I think as a consultant, there's a lot of opportunity to go to businesses and say, hey, do you need more customers? I'll bring them to you. Let me just bring them to you at no cost, and you just pay me whatever I bring. Or let me find other things that you're doing that are valuable, and I'll bring them do it for you, and just show them, actually make it for them. And a lot of people just send in their resume and kind of do the prey marketing.
Yeah.
Or look at companies and say, hey, how can I help them cut costs?
Yeah.
Dramatically cut costs of things that they'll be willing to change. And AppSumo now, we've grown. We're highest revenue we've ever had in years, because people are looking to cut costs now more than ever. And a lot of our products are lifetime deals. So you pay once for software and never again. People don't want to pay subscriptions.
That's interesting, dude.
Yeah, some of the stuff has changed. Like the deals we've done changed. So we did bundles, and then we one day. So we do this bundle. It's worth literally like the value of it. If you had to pay was like $1,000, and we'd sell it for 50. And I ended up only making like maybe $2,000 for 2 months of work,
Mhm.
which is not a lot.
Yeah.
And Andrew was like, "What if you just took all the bundles and sold them individually?" And I was like, "That's a good idea." So
Yeah.
stupid now. It's like obvious, but we didn't think. I think that's where we've done well.
That's how business is, though. It's like it'll take you years, and you're like, oh, why don't I just do this? And it's never a big, complex, hairy thing. It's always a simple thing. Like, why don't I just see that simple move? Yeah.
Well, I think the thing that I would say we've done exceptionally well, and I'm proud of our team, Eamon, Nick, Ullman, all these people there that are amazing, is that they've recognized what works and they've 10x'd it. So, just for example, and I'll tell you the specific things, they realize like lifetime deals work better than year deals, so now all the deals are lifetime.
Yeah.
They realize that email marketing is great, so instead of one email marketer, we have 5. And they noticed that ads were working, so now we're spending $250,000 a month on ads. We noticed affiliate marketing is working, so now we have 4 people, and it's a 7-figure channel. They noticed that content marketing is working, so now we have 10 writers versus just 2.
Mhm.
And they have done and I think what most people do is they just keep doing all of it. They're like, oh, all of this is fine. But what's important is what's not working, fuck that stuff, kill it. And what is working, go to the limit.
Yeah.
And the limit is ROI. It's 30-day payback ROI.
What are some of the things you've killed? Can you give like 1 or 2 examples?
Yeah, Instagram.
Kill it completely. Not worth our focus. Yeah.
It's not. Instagram shit has been like, it doesn't do anything for AppSumo. We've done some of the YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
AppSumo, it hasn't really built the audience. We now do videos for all the products, and that's actually helped. Facebook groups have not done shit really for AppSumo, so they haven't done a lot around that because I encourage them to do it. They're like, no, it doesn't really do anything. I've been pushing them on doing this marketplace, so letting everyone sell their business knowledge and products for it, and rightfully so. It's a future thing, and that's a little bit of a challenge because the stuff that makes money will prioritize, which is like these deals, these mega deals, and promoting dope products. And the small stuff doesn't make money now, but in aggregate, over time it will. But it is hard to prioritize that stuff. So I think you have to 80% what works and 20% long bets. What other stuff have we tried? Oh, we tried Briefcase. This thing was Netflix for software. I forgot about that on my list.
Yeah.
And so we thought for $50 a month, you could have all the tools you need to run your business. I don't know exactly why it didn't work, and maybe we just didn't invest enough in it. It got to $1 million ARR, and then it's kind of been stuck there. And at the end of the day, I think one thing that when I started AppSumo, I started 3 businesses at the same time. AppSumo, the software review site, Software Taco, and Reward Level. And especially if it's just one person or if it's 2 people, just pick whatever's doing best, whatever you can 10x, and just focus on that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what happened with Briefcase. We're like, yo, should we put 2 people on Briefcase or 2 people on AppSumo? What's going to be a better return? And a lot of times with companies, like, this is going to sound really heartless, but you do have to eventually you have to look at the team as an ROI individually. Like, I pay this person 100. How much are you making? And guess what? All you have to do to be great at a company and be, recession proof is just to be invaluable. And so how do you be invaluable? You make a lot more fucking money than you cost.
Yeah.
But then that has to be invested in you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's heartless. I just think it's the reality of, businesses that are going to survive and thrive and businesses that are going to fail.
So I wanted to ask, how do you filter ideas? What's been your process with ideas? Because I know there's a lot of entrepreneurs who are watching or listening to this. Maybe they want to do this, maybe they want to do that. I know I mentioned to you, I have an idea for a new project. But in general, would you say that it's less about the critique of the idea before you launch and more about just, the 48-hour thing, just launching right away and seeing what traction looks like and then gauging it from there? What's been your experience with how you filter ideas that end up working versus ones that don't, for people who are listening to this and maybe want to start their own thing or launch their thing or scared, should I do this? Or, a lot of people can get anxiety before they launch, particularly newer entrepreneurs. So
yeah.
What advice would you give entrepreneurs who sort of are filtering their ideas and wanting to know what to try, get the ball rolling on?
Yeah. I'll give you a few different techniques.
Okay.
So, number 1, text your best friend and ask them, hey, if I were to start a business today, what kind of business do you think I would start? And your friend will be like, yo, I thought you should start a crochet business. You're like, crochet? Dog, what? And you're like, oh, I guess and because I think sometimes we don't realize our skills. Like, if I texted my best friend, he'd be like, just do marketing. Go find another product. Like, go find another Mint. Go find another AppSumo and just do their marketing. So I think that's one. Other business ideas I would do. It's not an idea for starting a business, but I would go work for whoever I admire that's accessible. So not Zuckerberg, but maybe like a Noah Kagan or someone lower than me. in terms of status or being accessible, and figure out how to work for them for free.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? You're going to get knowledge and connections and most likely paid. I've hired so many people that way, the best people that have come that way.
Same. Most people who've worked with me in our business, it literally has always been somebody who voluntarily did something for free, and that caught my attention. More than all the messages, hey, can I do this? Can I do this? Are you hiring? Data? Someone will just make me something, and because
they make it. So I want to clarify, it's not
yes. them or whatever. Yeah,
it's not free. It's not that I need free money, dude. I don't need that. It's a distraction. It's they've proven it. They're not telling me what they're going to do. They've proved it to me. Mm-hmm. So I think that is a great way to build business ideas. For me, honestly, some of the stuff I do or I've liked in terms of business ideas is look at. So I think there's two other approaches. What is a problem that you have today that you'd like solved? So for example, I wanted gym equipment. Because guess what? It's hard to get gym equipment. All the gyms are fucking closed. So I was like, well, I wonder if other people have gym equipment problems. So I posted on a text group I'm in, and I posted it in our company. And I said, hey, does anyone need gym equipment? I can get some. Mm-hmm. And I had a bunch of people. I put this on YouTube. You can see I started a business live in an hour. And 3 people were like, a lot of people did it. And 3 people, I was like, yo, Venmo me. How much? What do you want? One guy wanted 2 45-pound dumbbells. I'm like, Venmo me can you Venmo me 100 in an hour once I get it? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, give me a moment. So the problem that most people have in businesses is they get the ideas first, and then they have to go find customers. And that's the fucking wrong way to do it, because now I have a solution. I have to find a problem. It's much. You could do it that way. There's many ways of getting to Mexico, but it's much better to know the fucking location and then fly there or drive there. But a lot of people just like driving south, and they can end up in Mexico. and I love Mexico. It's honestly, I think it's one of my favorite people, one of my favorite countries. It's a whole nother story. So I like finding the money. And once you have the money, to be an entrepreneur, there's one word that's the most important, and that is resourceful. Mm-hmm. And to be resourceful, once I have money, finding fucking gym equipment is easy. Look, I bought, can you see it? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it, but I bought a kettlebell over there. So what I did is I called every gym in Austin. I called hotels to see if they'd sell me their gym equipment. I called private trainers. I called manufacturers. I called all these different types of people, and all of them said no to me. Mm-hmm. And then on Facebook, I found some fucking redneck dude that had extra equipment he was importing it from China that was coming in this week. And I said, yo, man, I've got a bunch of people I want to sell. I just said, hey, I'm just going to tell you, I got a bunch of people I want to buy gym equipment. Can you give me a 10% off? Because, of course, I'm asking for my discount.
Yeah.
And I got this. Well, how much are these prices? So he's like, I can get you dumbbells for 100. I can get you kettlebells for this. I can get you this for that. So I went back to the other guys and said, yo, Venmo me. And then truth talks. A lot of people, when they start businesses, one of the entrepreneur excuses is like, I have no good ideas. I'm like, shut up. Just give up. Yeah. It's not that they don't have it. It's not that people don't have good ideas. They're just afraid, which I'm afraid of my own things. Like I have things I'm afraid of getting bigger. I'm afraid of actually my advice works. That's a whole nother story.
And what's interesting is you don't need the money that you're going to make from this thing. I mean,
that's even more important, dude.
It's just for you. It's just the game of money that you enjoy.
Oh, I'll tell you the crazy thing. Oh yeah, here it is. So this is 40. Is that Nick? That was Nick. Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to find Nick. Oh, there it is. So you see on the camera?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see it. So that's 360.
Yeah,
Brandon paid me 120. And then I just went and delivered fucking weights. And this is actually the craziest part about this.
Yeah.
I ended up making $30 doing that.
Yeah.
And I could make a lot more. You could actually rent out gym equipment. Why don't the gym equipment? I could rent it from for $5 a week, which sounds really cheap, but that's $250 a year, and that only cost me $30 or $45 each, or $100 for the set. But I made $250, which is a lot more than $120. And you could, there's, when I did sumo jerky, people were like, sumo jerky is stupid, but now that's what DoorDash is. That's what Uber Eats is. Things can evolve. Mm-hmm. But the fascinating thing is, so I did the interview with Tom on his show, and I said I made $30. And I appreciate what you called out. Like I don't need $30 fucking dollars. I get excited by it, but I don't need it. And it's fun and interesting. It keeps me sharp.
Yeah. There
was a lot of people criticizing me. A lot of people were saying, why would you do that for $30?
Yeah.
And it bothered me for a moment. And then I was reflecting on it. I said, for them, are they where they want to be? Because that $30 has helped me get to where I am now. And I'm willing to do that. Mm-hmm. And they're the ones judging it to avoid having to put in the work or the fear of it. Yeah. And so I'd say that's the kind of second one, is look for problems that you have or your friends' problem. Like one other thing, business idea I was doing just for fun, I found this good bottle of tequila called Lalo. It's Don Julio's grandson.
Yeah.
So I just bought up all the inventory in Austin, and I asked all my friends if anyone wants tequila, and I just delivered it to them. Yeah. I didn't actually make any profit on it. I said, hey, just pay me for the bottles, I'll deliver it to you, because it was fun.
Yeah.
The other thing I would say, so one is solve a problem you have. the other way you could look at it is they're like, what are solutions that are missing in your life? So one thing I've seen by the guys at buypeel.com, BUYPEEL.com, they built this hook so you can put on your keychain that opens doors so you don't have to touch a door.
I
It's
like
kind of
that.
neat. Kind of
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a problem too, but I think it's saying what's a problem I'm having today or what's a solution I can create. I think the main key with all these things, and the last one I'll tell you, here's the fucking easiest business. If you want to create, anyone can do this literally immediately. I've seen people do it. Go sell your shit on Facebook Marketplace. You could start a business this second selling your shit on Facebook Marketplace, and guess what? After you sell all your shit, you go to your best friend and sell their shit. And then you ask them for a friend, and you sell that person's shit. And then all you do is take 5% of the profit.
Yeah, you just
And
keep going.
people are like, well, I don't have a good business idea. I was like, fine, do that one.
Yeah.
And
Grow.
but I think the point is getting confidence, getting that $1, the velocity $1, and then getting the momentum going, and that will lead to things. Like Amazon is the world's largest company, and they started selling online with books.
Noah, thank you so much for being on the show, dude. It was awesome having you. Thank you for sharing your story. And for anybody that wants to follow Noah, we're going to put links in the description below. How can people get in touch with you, brother? You want them to email you, follow you?
No, don't get in touch with me. Start your businesses. Leave me alone. Just like consume. I want people to watch my stuff and do stuff. So go on, youtube.com/okdork. Sign up for the AppSumo.com mailing list. Go to sendfox.com/Noah. Get my weekly marketing newsletter. Probably one of the best places lately. I've been on this Facebook group, okdork.com/group. I'm pretty interactive in it because I love, what I've realized recently, Omar? I'm super available to the people doing the work. I'm not available to the people saying, oh, it's only $30. Like, get the fuck out of my way.
Yeah.
There's other people that are, I'll tell you, especially for you or any of these people that have audiences, one of the easiest emails you can get any celebrity or anyone to respond to is how they've changed your life. But don't ask for anything. Just literally say, Omar, I watched this specific video. Here's what it did for me. Thank you for everything you do. Love, Stacy or Drew. 100% response rate almost.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. All right, brother. I love you, man. I'll see you out
there.
Thank
you so much for hopping on, Noah.
Bye.
Take care, and thanks for bringing up value.
Bye.
Cheers.
Listen up. Have you ever listened to an inspiring story or interview or podcast like this and thought to yourself, man, I wish I could share my story with the world? Whether it's your brand, your product, your service, or your business that you believe can inspire others just like this, we want to hear from you. Our team at The Passionate Few is now hosting live interviews. All you have to do is click the link in the bio and fill out a short questionnaire, and you never know, you may just be the next Passionate Few.
Hey you, if you enjoyed that video, make sure to smash that subscribe button right now. And also, if you're an epic entrepreneur, thought leader, expert, and you want to be interviewed on the show, the same way we've interviewed over $10 billion worth of entrepreneurs and reached millions of people, then all you have to do is click the link below right now and fill out the questionnaire to see if you'd be a good fit to be interviewed on The Passionate Few. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click any of these videos as well. If you thought this video was epic, these videos will blow your mind. Until next time, live strong, live with passion, and thank you for being one of the Passionate Few. I'll see you in the next video.